Welcome everyone to this video. I will present you how I built a spray boot for my miniatures and RC models. A mini spray boot from what I found around my workshop. Basically, it didn't cost me a single penny since I had everything in-house, and if you properly look around you might find a few things what you can repurpose or use for this as well. If not, even if you go out and buy a few things, it will cost you very little. So first of all, I just took a plastic box I found, but this could also be even a cardboard box. Now, as you see, I planned this with 6 fans. I have them from a system, it's standard PC fans, and I have them from a system I used before for crypto mining. So I have quite a few of them. This is why I'm gonna use 6, because I want a bigger size and I want a decent extraction. So I took the size of the fans, I cut out the holes in the box, then I drilled some holes for the screws. Of course, before I measured it and made sure that it's the right distances, the right sizes for the fans, and then I just drill the holes for the screws in the plastic box. So anything you have around the house, it's okay. And if it's smaller one, now this one is quite big, I think it's about 50 centimeters, 45, something like this, by I think about 30-35. So it's quite big, but if you have a smaller one, depending on the size of the models you're gonna want to spray in it, it might be enough even a smaller one. So as soon as the holes are ready and the cuts are nice and clean, I take the fans. They are 140 mil fans, so they're the bigger size. And I just mount them on the bottom from the outside to leave the space inside free from everything, to leave it as deep as possible. I try not to have everything full with spray, with paint, so that's why I'm just fitting on the outside all 6 fans, one after the other. After you tighten all the fans, you need to make sure that the fans spring freely, because these lightweight boxes, which basically are quite flimsy, they might bend and touch the fan of the blade of the fan, which was the situation in my case as well. But you will see later, maybe on the video, that I cut out some connection pieces just to have a clear connection and not to obstruct the fan or touch the blades. The other thing what you will have to be careful, just make sure you rotate the fans so that the wire comes the same direction, and you can after that easily connect them. And of course, to make sure that they will reach to one end, because it's a lot easier to connect, you will see in a minute, if they come to the same side instead of having to wire it up both sides, or if they don't reach, maybe to cut the wires and extend them. But of course, if you bring it all up to one side, you can use a simple connector. You can find different ones for 2, for 4, for 6 fans, and then you can connect it with one single main wire, and then they will all run. Or if you want, you can do like, if you have a bigger spray boot like me, you can do 2 blocks, and then you can start half or the other half. As you can see, the fans are quite dusty, so they are used, as I said, they're nothing new. They are from an old system I don't use anymore, so they're just sitting there on the shelf. Here you can see I take all the wires, connect them to the same connector, basically on the same side. So I have a long connector which connects, I think, 6 or 7 in total, and you can use one main wire to run them. Now here, when you have all the fans connected, basically you see they come one after the other, and then taking all the rest of them. If you have them connected, then basically you guarantee that they start at the same time and work at the same way. Now here you can do a little bit of cable management. Yeah, I use some cable ties to tidy up the cables, and this way it's not cluttered, it's not gonna be going into the fan, so it's not catched by the blades. Just cut off the extra pieces what you don't need there. And then in my case, for the distributor piece, it comes with a self-adhesive double-sided foam tape on the back, so I just take that one and just stick it onto the side of the box, which in this case it's gonna be the top of the box basically in the working position. And it has an extra lead as well, which you can leave it on or disconnect it depending on how you want to connect. Don't worry about 3 or 4 wire fans, you don't necessarily need all of them. The first 2 are the ones what you will need to use to run them at full speed, and everything else is just for speed control and feedback, but you don't need to use them, so 2, 3 or 4 wire fans will do just fine. And now here I'm just gonna make a bracket for the filters, and these filters are literally filters from cars. I tried to find something to suit the size I have. I found the bigger one, and since they are narrow I use 2 of them, and this way I will have quite a big surface for filtering, which can guarantee a good flow, and they probably will last maybe a bit longer, not to get full with paint and block the filters fast. So this bracket, it's also pieces, aluminium pieces from the old frames. Basically it's the mining rigs I had, and I think the smaller one, the thin one, that is just some basic LED aluminium profile. I cut it a little and bent it to shape, connect the 2 bottom pieces to match the size of the filters, and then the rest I will just align in the box when I will fit it. To connect it I use just some small rivets, and that will connect it securely. Now in the box you see the pieces cut out from the box, the extra pieces. I didn't need them, and they were kind of flimsy, and I didn't want to have the filters being pushed out or anything. Here I just align the filters and the bracket to cover all the fans properly, and then I'm just gonna drill some holes through the aluminium profiles and the box, the bottom part of the box, and then connect everything to this container. You see, I'm using here as well some rivets, and just fix it into the bottom part there. If you use rivets, make sure you use it from the plastic side in and then through the aluminium, because otherwise the plastic might not be strong enough and the head of the rivets might just pull through the plastic. Instead, put the big flat part from that side and the ball from the aluminium side. Don't forget to like and subscribe just to support me with this. I try to share good tips and information with you, so I will continue to do so, and you support me with a bit of a subscribe. And here you can see that it's actually working. It sucks the paper to the filter properly, and that is perfectly fine. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.